So speaking of bright people, we are going to go to my favorite Googler in Vermont, Jeff Distasio. Jeff,
Could be your only Googler in Vermont, actually, Scott.
you are, yeah, that is true. That's true. I don't think there's many of you up in Vermont, but
No,
you're it.
I appreciate it, Scott, Robert. Very grateful for you both taking the time to put this together today. The one comment I'll make real quick, Robert, is you talked about pain, and my favorite Ray Dalio saying is pain plus reflection equals progress. So I always try to keep that. My question for you, and actually it's very timely. We actually lost a leader in our organization very suddenly last week. He passed away on a business trip. And I have an organization that feels like they're facing a lot of existential crises simultaneously. And the word I keep going back to is overwhelmed. Do you have a recommendation, an anecdote, a story, a time you've sort of helped a whole group of people who just sort of, I guess the best way to put it, feel existentially overwhelmed by so many conflicting crises of the day? How to help compartmentalize and how to help focus?
You know, being overwhelmed is a pretty normal, natural sensation in our lives. And as a consultant, companies would fly me in. And it would be my job to say, what's the issue? How overwhelmed are you? Why are you so overwhelmed? And then what would you do now if I was the person in your situation? What would you tell me what to do? And it's amazing how people can sort of work through things themselves if they're asked the right questions. You know, Aristotle gave all the answers, and Socrates only asked questions. And there's something about helping people process the naturalness of overwhelmingness and pull it apart piece by piece and line it up on a whiteboard and prioritize the overwhelmingness and begin to pull that puzzle apart and reframe it. It may take a month, 3 months, 5 months, but overwhelmingness is natural to leaders and to organizations. And it's a skill that either you can have or bring in somebody from the outside that can help burp you and work you through that to help you see differently, because overwhelmingness is an emotion. It's not a fact. It's an emotion. We all have them. So, yeah, I mean, I've buried over 50 guys. Most of them didn't think they'd be dead. So overwhelmingness is part of my job because all of us are in shock when stuff happens that just didn't know that could happen. I had a marathoner, came back from Boston Marathon at 41. This jogger fell over dead in his real estate office the Tuesday after the Boston Marathon. And he was married, you know, and kids, and, you know, what do we do? So I don't know if that's a good answer, but when you're talking emotional terms, remember it's an emotion, it's not a fact. And overwhelming is a good feeling term, but now let's pull it apart, find out why, and let's get the solutions going, no matter how long or how much money it takes. That's what I'd say.
That's helpful. Thank you for that.
Sure. Thank you.
We're going.